I heard Ibrahim talking shit about the idols earlier. And so the villagers bring Ibrahim into the, council, and they're like, did you smash the idols? Da, 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 da. And Abraham is like, he had left one idol, right? He hadn't smashed all of them. He's a smart guy. And the Quran has a lot of sass if you read it. And Ibrahim's like, I didn't do it. Ask the big idol over there. And those villagers, they're like, well, Ibrahim, don't be silly. Obviously, we can't ask the idols. Idols don't talk. And Ibrahim was like, well, why do you worship them then if they can't help you or harm you, right? And the villagers, they're not like, oh, let's use our reason and intuition. Ibrahim makes a good point. They're like, nope, let's deal with this the way we deal with all our problems. Let's burn him at the stake. So they build a fire to burn Ibrahim. All right, my sweet chili babies, attempt number 2 at recording this. The first time the audio cut out for some reason. Okay, so as many of you have probably seen, there's like a celebrity letter that's going around with all these celebrities who are not voicing support for a ceasefire and have expressed like no concern or sadness or pain for the lives in Gaza. And like you, when I saw it, I felt very sad. It's a really long list. And though there's a very hopeful letter that is calling for a ceasefire, it makes me really sad that some of the artists and celebrities that I've really, really looked up to signed on to something that doesn't recognize people who share my cultural and religious heritage as human beings, or doesn't feel like that's an important thing to address. And, when I felt sad at first, I was like, man, what does this mean? Like, do I not watch their movies? Do I not consume their songs? Like, how do I reconcile this with the life I live? And it made me start thinking about the pedestal that we've put celebrities on, right? And as I normally do, I turn to the Quran, and specifically this chapter, Surah number 21, Al-Anbiya, translated as the messengers. And within it, the part that where Hazrat Ibrahim, Prophet Abraham, is questioning his dad about this worship house in their village or community where there are a bunch of idols. And he's like, Dad, why do you guys like worship these idols? Like, they don't talk, they don't do this, they don't do that. And Ibrahim at this point is feeling a connection to his source, to the oneness of God. And that's the place where his questions are coming from. And Ibrahim's dad's like, well, and I'm paraphrasing, you can get the exact wording from the Quran, from Surah number 21. And his dad essentially is like, well, I'm doing it because my forefathers worshipped, these idols, and I do what my forefathers do. And Abraham, more credit to him, is like, well, Dad, that's not really a good reason. And he questions the other villagers around him, and they all kind of come to the same conclusion. They're like, well, we do it because our fathers and our forefathers did it. And when they are not looking and paying attention, Ibrahim plots, and he decides to go smash the idols. Now, this is point number 1 where I want to stop and think about this and how it applies to the moment we're experiencing in our lives. I don't think that literal idols exist in quite the same way that they used to at that time, right? And I want to think about this a little bit metaphorically. What are the idols of celebrity? Who are the people we place on a pedestal, who we almost worship? What are the idols of brands and money and wealth and power and politicians who are like, oh, we put you on a pedestal. Whatever you morally support, we support. And I think this moment is making us realize that we're all human beings. All these systems are man-made systems. Nothing is worth putting on a pedestal. And sometimes you got to smash a few idols to make a point, as my friend Arwen likes to say. And by that, I don't mean literally smash anything. I don't mean harm anybody, just to clarify. What I mean is you have to boycott brands. You have to not consume art. You have to take some space from buying into this culture that makes some people more important than others, and really rethink the system within we exist, right? So anyway, going back to Ibrahim in this story in Surah Al-Anbiya, he smashes the idols, and obviously he doesn't just get away with it. The next day, the villagers are like, oh my God, what happened? Somebody smashed our like really important idols. And some people are gossiping and they're like, I heard Ibrahim talking shit about the idols earlier. And so the villagers bring Ibrahim into the, council, and they're like, did you smash the idols? Da, 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 da. And Abraham is like, he had left one idol, right? He hadn't smashed all of them. He's a smart guy. And the Quran has a lot of sass if you read it. And Ibrahim's like, I didn't do it. Ask the big idol over there. And those villagers, they're like, well, Ibrahim, don't be silly. Obviously, we can't ask the idols. Idols don't talk. And Ibrahim was like, well, why do you worship them then if they can't help you or harm you, right? And the villagers, they're not like, oh, let's use our reason and intuition. Ibrahim makes a good point. They're like, nope, let's deal with this the way we deal with all our problems. Let's burn him at the stake. So they build a fire to burn Ibrahim. And in this moment, Ibrahim has another choice, right? Here's, again, another beautiful moral lesson. He can abandon everything he believes in. He can let go of his morality. He can let go of this idea of the oneness of God, the connectedness of creation. And he can be like, you know what? I'll worship the idols. It'll make life a lot easier. Whatever. Let's do it. But he doesn't do that. Ibrahim instead chooses to take a leap of faith into the fire. And guess what? The word leap of faith, or the phrase, comes from this moment. And even more than that, God cools the fire for Ibrahim. Now let's zoom out of that for a second and let's think about this metaphorically, or how it applies to our lives. It is really, really scary to not participate in the culture that is pervasive, that has been the way of things all throughout our lives, right? It is really scary to boycott something. It is really scary to decide not to consume stuff from celebrities that like all your friends are. It's really weird and destabilizing and inconvenient to go use other brands that you're not used to using. And it's very scary to stand up for your morals publicly in your inner circles. And it feels like you're jumping into a fire. It feels like you're going to lose everything. And this is where I want to remind you to have faith, because the fire will be cooled for you. It feels scary, and I promise you on the other side of it, there is so much peace in standing in line with your own integrity and your intuition and your reason and valuing human life and what is right.